My name's Angela Coffey and I'm a third-year student from Production Arts for Screen in the Technical Arts specialism. My final project is 3 hyper-realistic frozen bodies to depict the 3 different stages of frostbite. A lot of it was inspired by what I want to do in the industry, which is hyper-realistic silicone work, and I wanted to find a setting for that. So I decided to use a frozen mountain landscape because I was really inspired by Mount Everest disaster stories and mountaineering stories, especially the 1996 Mount Everest disaster. Just because that's a story I grew up with a lot, because my father used to tell me about that story all the time. I think making special effects and making pieces for horror film, you really get that step back from the actual fright, and you just have to approach your work as a piece of art, and you start to think about the colors, the colors of the flesh against the skin, and you work with the composition of where a wound is going to be placed on a body. And there's actually a lot of art and a lot of design that goes into place, which you don't even think about, but which is really fun to make and can be quite poetic, I think, in the way of making something so brutal, but in such a delicate, slow process to have a final piece. I love working with silicone, so I had to do some live casting. A lot of sculpting comes in place as well, some moulding and casting, which is more technical. And then the fun part for me is to cast and then paint and add some details with hair and color. I mean, my practice has completely changed since I started this course, because I came here with a lot of ideas but very little skills. I knew I wanted to do some prop making and work with film, but I had no idea I could do stuff like working with silicone and hyper-realistic prosthetics and body horror, body modification for the screen. And because it's a making course, I understood better how to use materials, how materials work, because there's a lot of chemistry involved. I think that's what really stood out for me when I applied and when I saw the different colleges who offered similar courses, is the pure experimentation that you can do here and the freedom of projects. And I found it very liberating here, how tutors are only here as a support for you, and they accompany you and they'll answer all your questions. But at the end of the day, everything you make and every decision you take is from your own self. One good thing is that our studio has a lot of facilities within itself, so we have all the materials that we need, all the machines that we need, but we also have a lot of access to great facilities like a wood workshop or a metal workshop, which really comes in handy when you have to make some armatures or if you just want to push your project to the next level. So in second year we got the opportunity to do a work placement within the industry, and that led to me being employed for 4 months last summer. And I've already have some jobs lined up for the near future and after graduation. So my main goal is to just enter loads of special effects workshops and studios and hopefully end up working on film sets.